So I would now love to, what we're going to do is get a little bit of an industry perspective, and I would love to welcome Pierre-Henry Longeray to join us on stage. So Pierre-Henry Longeray is the president of biopharma activities of Merck in France, one of the divisions of the German Merck Group. He's a doctor in pharmacy with an impressive career track in the pharmaceutical industry. To keep it short, he's also vice president of the executive committee for the Alliance for Research and Innovation for the Health Industry, as well as board member of the LEM board, which is the French Pharmaceutical Association. So, thank you for being with us. I think the perspective of the pharma industry, which Don has given us a quick glimpse of, is a very important one. And so we would love to find out from you what your view is on where we stand with digital health, what Merck is doing, and perhaps we can go a little broader then and talk about the pharma industry at large as well, and what your opinion is on all this. Thank you.
We'll try. We'll try. Yes, thank you, Florence. Thank you for BioVision, and thank you for Lyon-Biopol for giving me the opportunity to share some perspective about digital and pharma. Just a few words about Merck, because I think it's probably one of the reasons why I've been invited. So Merck is a science and technology company. We have a long history, I would say a very long history of innovation, as we are going to celebrate the 350 years of innovation of Merck in 2018. So it's a very old company which has been always very successful through a very strong culture of innovation. We are not a pure pharma player. Merck is a company with different activities, one being, of course, healthcare, and this is the reason why I'm going to speak about pharma. But we are as well very active in life science through the acquisition of two companies. One is Millipore, the other one is Sigma-Aldrich, where we provide solution processes for research centers, research labs. And we have as well a very interesting activities called performance materials within Merck, where we are a leading company in liquid crystals. Liquid crystals are this small system that you have for all your screen, and probably this is something that we share in this room. I don't know how many we are, but at least 50% of the people in this room, within your smartphone, the liquid crystals which are used are Merck inside liquid crystals. So you learned something at least this afternoon about Merck. Probably due to this culture of science and technology and the fact that we are, of course, working on different aspects, we have been, I think, like a pioneer company in combining, in fact, different technology. Of course, medication, treatment, medical devices, and digital. And I bring you just a small example of something which is on the market since nearly 4 years now, so it's not something new. We have already some experience with that, which is a connected medical device for patients suffering, in this case, of growth hormone deficiencies. So it's for kids. This is the reason why we have these nice colors on it, just to make it a bit more attractive, even if it's not easy, of course, for a young patient to have injections every day. These connected medical devices has the particularity to be connected and to give information, shared information between the patient and the healthcare professional on a web system, and as well you can have that on your smartphone with the app. And of course I will come back to that, why I think it's probably the future of where pharma companies are going to go. Just one additional topic about Merck. It's good to be digital for your customer. It's always good to be digital for your team, for our employees. And one of the goals of our chairman, Stefan Oschmann, he says always that he wants us to be all fluent in digital. I think it's an interesting goal. I don't think, if I benchmark myself with my son, I don't think that I am really fluent in digital, but I do my best. So yeah. Just there's a few words about Merck.
Okay, lovely. And where does, in fact, Merck stand in sort of tell us where it stands with its digital health activities? What has Merck gone ahead with in the digital. I love I had no idea. Of course, we can cite this liquid, the crystals that you just cited. This is a way like any other, right, to be invested in digital health. But I'm looking for a little more here. So tell us more about that.
I agree with you, and of course, it's a bit far from pharma, from treatment, and from patient. The way we think about digital and pharma is that we consider that as an opportunity, in fact, for the pharma industry. Sometimes we have a tendency to consider digital companies and to think that pharma companies we are probably a little bit competitors. And I think, as it has been already expressed by some of the speakers today, that it's more a partnership in which we need to go. And we think that there are basically three opportunities for the pharma industry. First, one of our goals in the pharma industry is to be sure that the efficacy and the safety that we have been able to demonstrate in our research, in our clinical development, we are able to provide the same level of efficacy and the same level of safety to the patient in real life. And I do think that digital will really help to match these goals, because what you can do with, for instance, this type of system is that first you can monitor adherence. And we all know that it's the start to improve adherence. First you need to monitor, and then you can start to improve adherence. It's two different things. But we all know that people respect what you inspect. It's a common human behavior. So if you're able to monitor adherence with this type of system, you can improve adherence. So it's the first step. Second thing is that you can improve interaction, communication between healthcare professional and the patient. We all know that we all have an issue with the time we spent in front of our patient. And if you can improve the preparation of the face-to-face, the interaction between the healthcare professional and the patient by sharing more regularly some data about quality of life, it has been already mentioned as well this afternoon, then of course you can improve the interaction, and you can improve, of course, at the end, the efficacy of the system. And the last point is that you can as well improve quality of life of the patient. You have seen that there are several apps already available. We are, for instance, very active in head and neck cancer, where we have patients who have difficulty to speak, and we provided a very simple app for this patient. They just have to download the app. You can download it as well. It's free. It's called My Voice, and of course, it gives you the possibility with this small app to communicate with everybody, even if you are not able to speak. So those are the types of things we are doing in terms of improving what we can do in real life for our patient.
Let me ask you a question, which being again an advocate of digital health, and I was forming partnerships actually with Nokia, but again trying to break the silos and bringing a lot of pieces of the puzzle together. So I started talking to a lot of pharmas, and I was busy trying to convince everybody on how wonderful this was all going to be. And I found through my discussions with the pharmas 3 years, 4 years ago, that I would identify some champions, and usually the champions were coming like from grassroots, on the ground, in my particular case, a lot from the developing and emerging countries, because I was focused on that geography. But so they were pushing and implementing something, but having a really hard time centrally to get any kind of energy going. And then, I don't know, in the last year and a half or so, I started seeing a lot more sort of strategic vision kind of happening on the pharma group. But tell me what you know a lot more about the pharma industry than I do. Just the ICT angle here. So tell me what your analysis of that is, and where do we stand with the pharma industry? Kind of really, are we getting ready for much bigger investments? Obviously, Don, you mentioned some of the pharma groups that signed on, for example, partnerships with Qualcomm Life, which is a fantastic sign that things are moving. But tell me what you're.
No, I think that it's very clear now for the pharma industry that this is the way to go, and to see how we can combine through partnership different technology. Of course, the one we are able to manage. Of course, our goal is to provide new innovation for the patient, and this is through our treatment, but as well to have this opportunity to combine different technology through partnership. I think in most of the big pharma now you have dedicated team dealing with this type of partnership. Yeah. And for instance, I can give you, of course, the example of Merck. We have a franchise, a dedicated franchise called Medical Devices and Services, who is typically working to see which type of innovation we can build for the future. So this is one way. Yeah. The other way is that it's not only partnership between private companies. Yeah. We all know that for this type of innovation, you have to embark in what we call co-innovation today, where you have, of course, to found groups of people to prepare this innovation, and when you have to, of course, involve patient association, healthcare professional, insurance companies, startups, small companies, of course, experts in digital, and as well, of course, as much as possible, public affairs, in order to be sure that as well we can a little bit influence the structure and the regulation of this type of app. So on one side, you see in big pharma companies that they are really structuring specific teams dealing with that, and as well, to change a little bit, we innovate in the pharma industry by co-innovation.
Good to hear. So it's moving in the right direction, so that's lovely.